So question 31. Question asked is metal that shows a maximum number of oxidation state. Here manganese is the one which shows the maximum number of the oxidation state. That manganese exists as a +2 oxidation state. It also exists in +3, then +4, +5, +6 and +7. Question number 32. The magnetic moment of the nickel tetracarbonyl and nickel tetracyano. This is asked. Options are given. So let's solve this. This question is we have to find the configuration of the nickel in each of the compound. So nickel carbonyl, carbonyl is neutral. So nickel over here is in zero oxidation state. So in the first compound over here, what I am writing is this: nickel is in configuration 4s2 3d8, right? And here nickel is in +2 oxidation state. Nickel CN4 2 minus is in +2 oxidation state. X plus 4 into -1 equal to -2. So x minus 4 minus 2, x is equal to +2. So nickel +2 is in this compound, right? So here nickel is in +2 oxidation state. So I will write this to be 4s0 3d8. This is the configuration, but both are d8 configuration. D8 configuration normally if you write, then it is this d orbital 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. But since these both cyanide, if you talk about the cyanide and carbonyl, both are strong field ligand. Both are strong field ligand. Strong field ligand. So since both are strong field ligand, this leads to the pairing of the electron. Pairing of electrons. So here how the electrons will be existing is this way. Electrons in a d8 configuration will be existing this way. So there is no any unpaired electron because the ligands over here are strong field and all the electron pairing takes place. There is not a single electron which is unpaired. So there is no magnetic moment for both the complexes. So the answer is option C. Question 33 here. The oxide that reacts with both acids and alkali. The oxide which will react both acid and alkali is that oxide should be amphoteric in nature. Amphoteric oxide. So you have to identify which oxide is amphoteric from this. Amphoteric means which can act as a acid as well as base. So among these, if you consider all the oxides, then aluminium oxide is a amphoteric in nature. So answer is option D. This is going to react with both acid as well as alkalis. Question 34. The structure of S2Cl2 is asked. So here what is the structure will be sulfur and sulfur over here. This is then here it is Cl and this is Cl. See all these atoms Cl, this Cl and both the sulfurs won't be lying in a plane, okay, because there are two lone pairs on this sulfur. There are two lone pairs, 1 2 this way. So what happens is that because of this lone pairs, it will be like this. I'll just find some good image from the Google. Let's see. This will be a structure of the S2Cl. Means over here, like this chlorine, this sulfur and this sulfur, it is lying in one plane, you can see, right? And this chlorine is above the plane. This is not a planar structure. This angle is 107 and here these are the lone pairs. So it's not linear, it's not octahedral, it's not trigonal, planar also. S2Cl2, this 107.7, this is close to a tetrahedral structure because of the lone pair, Okay, its arrangement in the space will be close to tetrahedral because of these lone pairs over here which are present over here. See, like the way water is also there, you can see that arrangement of the electron pair in this way. This is also a tetrahedral. Okay, if we go to see, the structure of the water is this way. This is in, this is lone pair, this is lone pair, arranged tetrahedral. See here also it is a similar kind of structure, but each sulfur is tetrahedral. Question number 35, theory based question. Among the following, the metal that has the lowest melting point is, answer is technetium. Question number 36, Brown ring test is used for the detection of the nitrate ion, that is NO3 minus. It is for this. Question 37, among the following, the one which is interstitial compound, theory based question. This is also, answer is 8, titanium carbide. So here the valence electronic configuration of the europium is, answer C, that is 4f6. Question 39, the octahedral complex CO NH3 6. See, this should be inside a bracket. I think it's typing error over here. It should be this way: cobalt NH3 6 and plus 3. So this is what a cobalt compound. Cobalt oxidation state, cobalt's electronic configuration is 4s2 3d7. Now over here cobalt is in plus 3 oxidation state, right? How do we find the oxidation state? X plus 6 and water is neutral, so 0, which is equal to plus 3, so X is equal to plus 3. So over here cobalt in plus 3 oxidation state is 4s0 3d7. If you see this 3d, not 6 7, it is 3d6. So ammonia is a strong field ligand. NH3 is a strong field ligand, So what happens, this during a crystal field stabilization, here there is 1 2 3 T2G orbital, and this is EG, this is T2G, and this is EG. So there is a filling of the electron, 6 electron this way. This gap is very high for the strong field. 1 2 3 4 5 6. All the electrons are paired over here since it is strong field, so it is a diamagnetic. So coordinating atoms in EDTA 4 minus are, different options are given. I'll just post the image of the EDTA. This is how the EDTA molecule looks. See, ligands means what? It should be an electron rich. It should be having either a lone pair of electron or it should be having the charge over here. This is called as ethylene diamine tetraacetate. So this is the structure of a ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. Okay, so acetic acid means what? This OH is there, no? So OH is there. So acetate means what? There is a 4 minus charge, means this hydrogen will be going. So what I'll do is that I will just remove these hydrogens from here. So these hydrogens, if you remove, then it becomes tetraacetate. This is acetate, COO minus. So I'm just removing this tetraacetate. The structure of the EDTA 4 minus will be this way. Means here there will be a negative sign which will be coming over here. There will be a negative sign here, this and this. So these 1 2 3 4 will be acting as a ligands or a donor atom. This will be a donor atom. This will be donor atoms. Okay, and one more is that there is a lone pair on these nitrogens, no? So these are also a donor atom. Donor atoms. So over here there are 2 nitrogens and 4 oxygen atoms. So this is what the EDTA is. Question 41. Which one of the following is not a correct limitation of a valence bond theory? So first statement made over here is valence bond theory does not explain the color exhibited by a coordination compound. They have asked which is not correct. So this is correct, right? This is correct limitations. Option B, valence bond distinguishes weak field and a strong field ligand, right? This point is about strong field and weak field is about crystal field theory. This is about a CFT, crystal field theory, okay, not of the valence bond theory. It distinguishes spin free and spin paired complexes. This is also true. Valence bond does not give the quantitative interpretation of the magnetic data, right? See, if we don't have the idea of a strong field and the weak field, then we cannot understand, we cannot have a total idea about whether the electrons are going to paired or unpaired. So this idea of whether electrons will be paired, we get it through get through a crystal field theory only. So valence bond does not give the quantitative interpretation of magnetic. This is also true that it does not give the quantitative interpretation, because to understand a quantitative interpretation of the magnetic data, that is paramagnetic or the diamagnetic, we should know the ligand should be a strong field or the weak field, right? So all these 3 options like A, C and D are correct, and which is incorrect or is B. So the answer is option B. Question number 42. This is based on the knowledge. If you know the order of the spectrochemical series from the crystal field theory, then you will get this correct. Answer for this question number 42, I'll directly mark, is that this is the answer C. This question is based on IUPAC nomenclature of the coordination compound. Given here is mercury. Here it is outside the coordination sphere, counter ion is mercury. This is cobalt and thiocyanide, okay, and this is 4 times, okay. What is the IUPAC name? So first thing, this is a mercury. Whatever comes first, we write this. So if it was a coordination sphere, I would have taken a coordination sphere. This is what mercury is, the counter ion that is coming first, so I am writing the name of that directly. Mercury. Leave a space. What is there in a coordination sphere is a thiocyanate, right? And it is tetrathiocyanate. Why 4? So tetra thiocyanato. Why cyanato? Because thiocyanato is a negative ligand. This is a negative ligand. And next is, it is cobaltate. Cobaltate because this coordination sphere is itself negative coordination sphere. This coordination sphere is negative and this is positive. Counter ion is positive over here. So cobaltate. That's why cobaltate. Now we have to write what is the oxidation state. What is the oxidation state on this cobalt? See, this is mercury, which is +2. Mercury is in +2, so this should be in -2. So let's find for a cobalt X plus thiocyanate is 1 minus 1, and this is equal to -2. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. This is mercury. Mercury over here is in +1. Okay, so this will be -1. So 4 into -1, right, equals to -1. So this is -1. X is equal to -1 plus 4, X is equal to plus 3. So you write 3 as oxidation state over here. So answer is option A. This is the answer. Question number 44. Based on CFSC, the order of the stability of D4 metal ion in a complex, in a high spin octahedral and low spin octahedral and tetrahedral geometry is. So here, tetrahedral means it is 4 ligands around the central metal atom, and octahedral means there are 6 ligands around the central atom. More the number of the ligand, more the stability of the complex, right? So here this is a tetrahedral which has just 4 ligands. So tetrahedral's stability will be less. Tetrahedral stability will be less, right? Then if you compare between a high spin octahedral and low spin octahedral, the low spin means it is a strong field ligand. So strong field gives more stability than a weak field. So strong low spin means LS means low spin, so it is a strong field. So LS octahedral is more stable than a high spin octahedral. So among this will be the order. So the answer is option C. Okay, this question is based on structures. The oxoacid of sulfur that contains a peroxy linkages. Now what is the meaning of peroxy linkage? Peroxy linkage means oxygen connected to oxygen. Like here oxidation state of oxygen is -1. This is what a peroxy linkage. Let's look into the structure. Since this is oxoacids, right? So of the sulfur. So this is sulfur, double bonded oxygen. This is what is very compulsory. This is oxygen, this is oxygen, this is double bonded oxygen. This is the first thing we are going to do. Then how many oxygens are remaining? There are 4 oxygens are remaining. So I'll put this OH and so here there are double bonded oxygen. Here also there are double bonded oxygen, and this is OH. This is what the H2S2O7 structure is. Okay. What would be a structure of H2S2O8? So it's similar structure, but only thing there is peroxo linkage in between. Here there will be a peroxo linkage. This is the structure of H2S2O7, O8 I mean, right? 2 hydrogens, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is -1, this is -1. So this is the peroxy linkage which is existing in option B. H2SO4 everyone knows, sulfur, double bonded OH, there are 2 OH over here, right? This is H2SO4 and H2SO3, sulfur, double bonded OH, and these are the 2 OH, H2SO3, and there is a one lone pair on this, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yes, so these are structures of all the acids, and in which case there is a peroxy linkage is option B. This is theory based question again. Compound that is used in anesthetic during surgery. Okay, so answer is option D over here, that is halothane. Okay, here the question is based on IUPAC nomenclature. So here the thing is about how you will do the numbering. Numbering should be done in such a way that you get lowest set of flow currents. So the lowest will be this way. If you choose this to be 1, this should be 2, right? Let's use different color. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4, right? What comes first in alphabetical order? That is substituent. We always write the substituents first, right? So this is one bromo. There is a bromo as a substituent. Then if you see, this is what 1 2 3 4. This is secondary butyl. This is secondary butyl group which is connected over here. This is secondary butyl, and this is methyl group, right? So this is methyl group. So in a alphabetical order, B comes first. Okay, So Br I'll consider, here it is Bu, means I'll not consider this secondary. So this is we'll write the position. The first position is 1 bromo, right? Then secondary butyl at what position? Fourth position. So fourth secondary butyl. Okay, and then there is a 2 methyl, and it is present on a benzene. So main parent is over here is benzene. So we write this. So answer is option D. Question 48. Question asks, is the major product formed on a reaction of 1 ethyl 4 nitrobenzene with bromine in the presence of light. So first we'll write the structure of the benzene, means benzene derivative. It is this way. It is 4 ethyl, sorry 1 ethyl. Ethyl means what? It is this way. CH2, CH3. This is benzene, and 4 nitro. This is the nitro. Right? This is what the compound is. This is treated with chlorine, right? And this is light, H nu. Okay, this represents a light or UV light. They have mentioned about the UV light. So this reaction is going via free radical formation. Like free radical formation, it will look for the most stable free radical formation. It is a substitution reaction, but free radical substitution it is not an electrophilic substitution. Electrophilic substitution, then it can take place over here easily on the benzene. But since it is free radical halogenation, it will take a substitution will take place either on this carbon or this carbon, and it is very difficult to substitute on this carbon. There are hydrogens over here. It's very difficult to substitute. Right? So either here or here. Now there are two options. Like here, since it goes via the free radical formation, there are two possibility of the free radical formation. One is free radical can be formed here, right? And the other possibility is that free radical can be formed over here, right? So if you ask me which free radical is more stable, then this is more stable than this. Okay, so why it is more stable? Because this free radical is in conjugation, pi sigma and free radical, but here this is not in conjugation, pi sigma and then free radical. So this is more stable free radical. So what will happen, that a bromine free radical which was formed, it will connect with this. So answer will be what? It is this option C will be the correct answer for us. So your final product will look like this. This is NO2 CH Br. So Br is here. So answer is option C. So here is the question. The question asks is a reaction of wood spirit with thionyl chloride. So wood spirit means it is methanol. Okay, it is methanol, CH3OH, and thionyl chloride is SOCl2, right? So here, if we see the mechanism, thionyl chloride SOCl2 looks this way: one chlorine here, one chlorine here. This is chlorine, and methanol is this way, CH3OH. Now the attack, who is electron rich over here? This is a lone pair of electrons over here. This is the electron rich. Although like this is also electron rich, but they don't like to give the electrons away. Like these are electronegative element. Here also, but most electron deficient, which is the most electron deficient center, is this. The reason is that the two chlorine atom and plus oxygen, very high electronegative elements are connected to this, and that's why this is very highly electron deficient. So attack is going to take place on this. Okay, I'll use different color for the attack. Like this is the attack which is going to take place over here on this carbon, because this is electron deficient. Then longest bond is going to break, or weakest bond. First pi bond is going to break this way, then back bond, and longest is this, chlorine is going to move. So in this case, what is happening in the next step is, this is a step 1. If I mark, what would be a step 2? like what you will get over here in the step 1 is this sulfur double bonded oxygen, this is chlorine, and oxygen is there, this is what is connected, this is hydrogen, and this is methyl and the positive charge. So here what goes is like carbon oxygen bond, carbon oxygen bond is the longest bond over here, like that's going to break. Okay, that's going to break over here. So this is sulfur, this is sulfur, this is going to break this bond, and this will go as a CH3 plus. So finally what you have here in this case is that as of now sulfur double bonded oxygen, this is OH is there, and this is chlorine and the CH3 plus, right? So that chloride which is gone over here, that will combine with this, to form a CH3Cl, because chloride was minus, that is gone as a Cl minus. So I will write over here, this is Cl minus, that will combine with this, and finally what is there, this is SO. Okay, we got one thing sure, that we are going to get a methyl chloride for this. Then what will happen, there will be a more number of the methanol. This attack can take place one more time, like if this methanol attack take place one more time, what would be a product? There will be what we'll be getting is other chlorine will be going, there will be 2 OH which will be substituted. Of course this will be existing, which methyl chloride will be also forming again, but this is the structure what you are going to have. When 2 OH group are on the same carbon, it is unstable, so what happens, it dehydrate, right? It dehydrates 2 OH group, so minus H2O I am writing. So this is a sulfur dioxide. Dehydration means this will go, so you get sulfur dioxide and methyl chloride, and also there will be formation of the acid, like here there will be some formation of the hydrochloric acid also, because chloride ions will be there, that is going to react with the H plus which is there in this case. So answer is option B, option A I mean. Question number 50. The correct statement about the rates of the reaction of the following compound with KCl. See, KCl over here used is a source of what? Source of a Cn minus ion. Source of Cn minus ion. This is a nucleophilic substitution reaction, and this will preferably go via SN1, SN2, right? So if it's going via SN2, then which of these options will be correct is, it did not mention, they did not mention whether it is SN1 or SN2, but nucleophilic substitution reaction is going to take place. So here in a first case, structure given is this. This is a structure which is given, and here chlorine is connected to this carbon, here there is a hydrogen, a smaller groups are there. So cyanide will attack directly from the side opposite to the leaving group. But in the case of this, what we can say is that there is hydrogen and the steric hindrance. Okay, there is lot of steric hindrance on this carbon. Lot of steric hindrance means comparatively more steric hindrance than this, right? Why this carbon? Because this carbon is a partially positive, because halide is connected to this. Same way here, this carbon is partially positive, right? Therefore one reacts faster than 2. And okay, here I feel this should be a Cl, this should be a Cl, and I guess here this should be Cl. Okay, if that is the case, then in this case also, here there is more steric hindrance, here there is less steric hindrance, right? Here there is methyl and this propyl group is connected, so here there is only one propyl group is connected. So here steric hindrance is less, so 3 reacts faster than 4. So the answer is option D. Okay, question asked is among the following an example of the chiral molecule. What is the meaning of chiral molecule? All the groups attached to that carbon, at least one carbon should be such a way that there should be all the groups attached to it should be different, right? If you consider this is that carbon, if you consider this is the carbon which is there at the center, there are two bromine which are same, so this is not a asymmetric carbon. Here if you see, this carbon is not asymmetric, this carbon is not asymmetric, this is also not asymmetric, means chiral. This is the carbon which is asymmetric. Why I am calling this to be a asymmetric carbon is that all the groups attached to it are different. See, this is OH group, this is hydrogen, this is ethyl group, and this is methyl group. All four groups are attached to it are different, so this is a chiral compound, means asymmetric. Now over here this is the carbon, if you see, then this is the OH, this is hydrogen, and this is ethyl group, and this is the ethyl group, right? So this is CH2 and methyl, no, that's why it is ethyl and this is ethyl. So two groups are similar, so this is non-chiral. And the last compound, if you see, then last compound structure, I'll draw it again, how it is not a chiral is that over here this is the OH, and this is methyl, right? So if you see, these two groups are different, but this group, these two groups are same, right? We are going to call this to be a same groups, similar group. That's why this is not a chiral center. There is no any carbon which will have a same which will have all the group different. So the answer is option B, which is a chiral compound, means optically active compound. Okay, the question number 52. The correct statement about the reactivity of the chlorobenzene in electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction. So first statement is chlorine is orthopara directing group. Let's draw the resonating structure of the chlorine. If there is a chlorine present on a benzene, what are the possible resonance structure which it will have? So this is the chlorine, there is a lone pair of electrons on this, right? Where it will direct is over here, right? Then this pi bond will shift and we'll have the resonating structure like this. Negative charge, Cl plus, and this will shift here. I'm drawing a whole resonance structure for this negative charge. So here if you see, then what we have is this. These are the resonance structures. So chlorine is orthopara directing to the electrophile. See, electrophiles are electron deficient, and the negative charges, where it is formed at ortho positions or at para position, right? Either at ortho position or para. So this is chlorine is orthopara directing. This is true. Chlorine tend to stabilize the carbocation through inductive effect. See, carbocation is something which is positive, right? Let's say there is a carbocation formation. There is a carbocation formation. Let's say this is the carbocation. I'm just taking an example this way. This is a carbocation formation, and let's say there is a chlorine present on this. There is a chlorine present on this. What will this chlorine will do is that it is a electron withdrawing. Its inductive effect, since electronegativity of the halides is higher, its inductive effect is dominant. It is destabilizing it. Carbocation will be getting destabilized, although there are lone pair of electrons on this. So inductive effect is dominant, that's why carbocation will be getting destabilized, positive, and you are pulling it electron density and making it more positive. So that's why the second statement is incorrect. The reactivity is controlled by the inductive effect, and orientation is controlled by the resonance. See, reactivity, whether the since it is a halide is connected over here, the benzene will be uh, less electron rich, because it also has a minus I effect, because chlorine also shows a minus I effect. Okay, and minus I effect is dominant, so its reactivity towards electrophiles will be less. Okay, it will be decreased. If you consider a benzene and a chlorobenzene, then chlorobenzene's reactivity will be less compared to that of benzene, because it is pulling electron through inductive effect. Okay, and here the directive influence, whenever there is a substitution taking place, it will be either at a ortho or at para position, because of the resonance. Negative charge, electron charge density is at a ortho and para position. So here this statement, which is the last statement, the reactivity is controlled by inductive effect and the orientation is controlled by resonance, this is true. So answer is option C, that is 1 and 3. These are the correct statement for this. Question asked over here is, what is Z? Okay, so if you see the reaction over here, this is a alkyl halide reaction. First we'll judge this based on a alkyl halide and a sodium. This is the alkyl halide reacts with a sodium and it gives you this CH3, 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 then CH3, CH3, right? It gives you this, right? So what is that alkyl halide? See, generally this is a Woods reaction. Alkyl halide reacting with a sodium, 2 moles generally we take this, and what you get is R connected to R plus to NEX. This is what you get. So here it should be 2 units of R. This should be 1 unit of R, and this should be another unit of R, and to which halide is connected. So my Rx over here is this CH3, CH3, CH3 and X. This is reacting with if you go this side, it is reacting with this magnesium. So this is CH3, it gives you a Grignard reagent, CH3, R, this is my R part, and this is Mg and X. Further you react this with water, means if you see over here, this part is negative. Whenever it is a Grignard reagent, if I write a Grignard reagent, write over here R, Mg, X. This is negative, this is negative, this is positive. Now you tell me, if you are adding a water over here, what will happen? That OH minus, where it will go? It will generally, what is done is OH minus means water means OH minus and the H plus, right? This is a positive part and this is a negative part. So which combination? This bond is going to break, right? This bond is going to break, and what you get is this. Finally, what you get is this CH3, CH3, and this is CH3, and H gets connected because this is negative and H plus is positive, and this gives you Mg OH X, right? So this is positive, so there is negative and this positive. It attacks over here, this bond breaks, right? So the answer for this is option A. Answer is option A. Question number 54. Question is, among the following, an example of allylic and a tertiary alcohol. What is the meaning of allylic? Allylic means alcohol, if this is a double bond, it's a double bond, and this is what the example of allylic alcohol. I'll just tell you a simplest word, that this is a allylic alcohol. Here hybridization of the carbon is sp3 and next carbon is sp2. Among this, which is allylic alcohol? See over here, this is the question is this way: allylic and the tertiary alcohol. That is where we need to focus. First, understand what is allylic alcohol. This is sp3 carbon and this is sp2. How do I understand sp3 and sp2? It's simple. Here all the carbons are attached to like single bonds, it is, and here it is double bond. So this is sp2. So this is allylic alcohol. This is allylic alcohol. This is double bond and this is single bond. Over here it is sp3 and this carbon is sp2. This is also allylic alcohol. And what about this? This is phenyl. pH means it is phenyl, and this is OH. Yes, this is also a pi sigma and OH. This is also a allylic alcohol. So now the thing is, which is tertiary allylic alcohol? Tertiary means OH should be connected to that carbon and further it should be connected to 3 carbons. So option C is the tertiary allylic alcohol. Why? It is connected to this carbon, this is further connected to 3 carbon. So this is tertiary, this is primary, and this is, if you see this carbon further connected to 2 carbon. So this is secondary. The answer is tertiary allylic alcohol is option C. Okay. Question number 55. The correct statement about the nitration of the phenol with dilute HNO3 at low temperature. Phenol gives orthonitrophenol and a paranitrophenol as a major product. Paranitrophenol as a major product. Second statement is orthonitrophenol has a higher boiling point than a paranitrophenol. Reaction of phenol with concentrated HNO3 gives a picric acid. So which of this will be a correct? So here first we will do this. This is HNO3. Sorry, nitrophenol, no, nitration of the phenol. This is phenol. If you do the nitration, means it is a electrophile which will come, it is NO3 plus. This is how it is generated by the reaction of HNO3 and H2SO4 in nitration. So this group is a ortho-para directing. In the resonance, if you see, there is a negative charges which will be generated over here, right? So it is either at ortho or at para position. So what you get is that you get a phenol, you get a OH, two product. One is, sorry, this is not NO3, this is NO2. This is NO2 plus. So NO2 plus is either here and this is OH, this is NO2. Okay, there are two possibilities. So this is major product, this is major product and more stable, and this is minor product and a less stable. So with dilute HNO3, this is possible in a dilute HNO3. The reaction is dilute HNO3 plus concentrated H2SO4. So by the reaction between this, it gives you NO2. This acts as an electrophile. This is a electrophilic substitution reaction. So this is a major product, right? So the first statement is correct. Phenol, orthonitrophenol and a paranitrophenol, right? This is orthonitrophenol and this is paranitrophenol. So this is major product. Orthonitrophenol has a higher boiling point than a paranitrophenol. No, here if you see there is a symmetry, here there is less symmetry. So orthonitrophenol has a less boiling point than a paraphenol. So this statement is incorrect. This is correct. Reaction of phenol with a concentrated HNO3. If you do the phenols reaction with concentrated HNO3, concentrated HNO3, what you get is a compound this way, 2,4,6 trinitrophenol, right? This is called as picric acid. This is called as picric acid. So this statement is also correct, right? So answer is 1 and 3. Option B is correct.